Aloha, Rich Halverson here. This is ICS211. And in this video, I'm going to backtrack a little bit and talk about array lists out of chapter 8. So let me share my screen. And I looked back at all my previous videos and I noticed I never covered from 8.17 down. I think the reason is because previously they were optional, but I've since realized how important it is that we go over this, because this is one of the things that differs depending on the language. And in Java, the concepts are made very clear, and the rules and so on. So this is a good section to go over. All right, so the abstract or the array, is this the right section? No, I wanted to start array list here. All right, so sometimes you want to maintain a list of items like a grocery list or a course roster, and so there Java provides this array list, which is an ordered list of reference type items, and each element in the array, so it's an array, okay? But basically, we're talking about an array of anything. It's not just an array of integers or an array of primitive data types. It's an array of objects, and objects are defined by a class, by classes. And so when you declare, for example, an array list of vowels, we're going to say that this is an array list, and it's going to be an array list of integers. Notice it's capital I. So it's what we're doing is creating a reference variable to a capital I integer, which is a wrapper for the primitive type, and you get some more methods along with it. But anyway, and this example here points out that this is not. It's got to be a collection of objects. It can't be primitive types. So this would give you a compiler error. Anyway, so make sure you go through this. Array list allows programmer to maintain a list of items, and these are some common methods that come along when you make array lists. You can add an element to the list. You can get an element based on where it's indexed. You can set an element's value by specifying the index, and you can get the size of the number of elements, get the size of the array list. And so to access the elements, you use get and set. Here you can add it this way, and this just adds, one at a time, increments an index, and then adds it on to the end. Iterating through array lists, you can use loops. This is, for example, you can have the number of elements in the array list, and you can declare an array list, and you can say this is the total number of elements. You can add them in, and then this is how you might loop through them, and so on. It's pretty obvious. All right, let's do some challenges. All right, 8.15.1, enter the output for the array list. So just looping through here. This is kind of a dumb one. Let's see. We're gonna declare an array list called user vowels, and we're gonna loop. After we stick all these in there, we're just gonna print them out one at a time. And so it's just gonna be a 1, a 6, and an 8 using print lines. And so that's pretty easy. Let's do the third one. In this one, we are adding 2, 5, 7. Oh, and then we change some of them, and then we print them out. So we start out with 2, 5, 7. Okay, we're going to print them out in order, but then we change index number 2 for index number 2, which would be the 7. We increment index number 2 by 1. And for the 0th index, which would be the 2, we add 2 to it. So, and then when we print them out, we would have the first one would be 2 plus 2 is 4, because 2 plus 2 is 4. And the next one was untouched, and that would remain 5. And then the last one, which is this third one here, that was, we added 1 to that, so that becomes 8. And it's print lines for all of them. And what do we see? Yes. All right, you should be able to do the rest of them. Let's look at this one. Declare and initialize a reference variable for an array list named length list that stores items of type integer. So that would be something like, start. So we have an array list named of integers, and we're going to name it length list. Okay. And let me get this right. Equals this. Equals this. All right, integer, integer. All right. So that does the first thing. Read integer num lengths from the input. Okay. So that first thing I read num lengths. So that would be something like scanner SCN. No, it's num lengths. I gotta oh, it says num lengths equals SCNR dot. It's the next integer, so NEXT INT. And then it inserts that many integers into, okay. Inserts that many integers. So 4, I'm going to use I again. I equals 0. I is less than num lengths. I plus plus. What am I doing? I am adding to array length list. I'm adding, what am I adding? I'm adding, I'm adding this. Let me copy this. And we're using I, so I'm going to just put this right here. Paste. So I'm adding that to length list. Huh. I wonder if this is right. Let's see. All right, let's see. Check. Oh, that's right. Very good. Okay, what's next? Let's see. Integer num lengths is read from the input. There it is. Then num length integers are read from the input and inserted at the end of length list. Assign sum of lengths with the sum of all the elements in length list. Okay, so my code goes here. Oh, first I read them all in. Shoot skis, I can't do it along with it. All right, so sum of lengths. Well, I better start out saying that sum of lengths equals 0. Equals 0. And then I'm going to do for I equals 0, I less than num length, I plus plus, sum of length, what gets added to sum of lengths? Length list of, oh, gotta use get index I, methinks. Let's see if this is correct. Yeah. All right. What's the next level? Okay, this time it's read in input, then that many integers are read and inserted at the end of width list. If an element is odd in width list, add 1 to the element. Oh, really? All right, so okay, so like, you know, I'm going to read in 2 elements. So start reading them in, and this is the 0th one, and this is the first one, or whatever, 0, 1, 2. When the index, if an element is odd, in other words, oh, this is odd, so add 1 to it. So then it outputs 50, or that it's going to make it 50. Whereas this one's just going to leave 46, I think. Okay, so let's try to for I equals 0. Wait. Oh, all right. Oh, I gotta do it here. Okay, for I equals 0, I less than num widths, I plus plus, and it's the elements are mutable, so I can mutate them. I'm gonna say if width list get odd, if when I take the modulo, right, the mod of that value, mod 2, if this is equal to 1, if the value in there, mod 2, is equal to 1, which means it's odd, then I want to add 1 to it. So I say width list set set width list get I didn't plus 1. It's not quite right because I'm doing I. So set if the value in an array list element is odd, in other words, this would be true if it's odd. If it's odd, then for a particular index, whatever the index is, we're going to go through all of them. Then if that's true, then at that index, get the value out again, add 1 to it to make it even, and then store that in I. That's what I think this is, and then print it out. It didn't. It said I had a semicolon after this. Oh, I don't know. Anyway, but it worked. So what's next? Okay, so I did, it's only been 17 minutes, so I just finished this one. I didn't do all of them. Okay, what's this? Oh, classes and array lists. Okay, so array lists of objects. See, so array lists are lists of objects, and so you can have classes that would define an object, and then have an array list of those objects. The commonly uses classes and array lists together. So in this one, we have this reviews program, and it's a program. This is the program, main program, and inside the main program, we define this array list of reviews. And reviews is defined up here, and a review simply has a rating and a comment. Okay, so and so in this program, we have this array list of reviews. It's called review list. And we review, and we go through and we read a bunch of ratings until somebody enters in a -1. So we read in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ratings. And then over here, we can be in a loop, and you can enter in a rating, and you want to see all of the comments for that rating. So if you enter in a 5, it's going to print out all the comments for ratings of 5, 2, 4. If there isn't one, it doesn't print anything out, and so on, until somebody enters a -1. So that's the program. Very cool. Make sure you understand that. Now here, instead of having the array list in the main program, which is down here, you end up having a class. You have a class called reviews. And so this is a class called reviews. And inside the class called reviews, we've got an array list. We've got the array list. And we got some other stuff that comes along with the class, with this reviews class. So we have a way to input reviews in. We have a way to print out the comments for a particular rating. And we even have a way to get an average rating. Okay, so those are methods that would come along with this reviews class. And so this shows how you would use that. Use a reviews class named all reviews. And then when you want to enter all these things in, you just call this input reviews method, and it reads them all in until it gets to a -1. That's all programmed in the class here. Input reviews. See here, this one is where it's looking for a -1. Okay, so anyway, so that's a second way of doing it, putting the reviews, having a class that has an array list inside. So each time you create a new instance of the class, you create a new instance of the array list, but it's associated with that class. And then here's an example of using reviews in a restaurant class. And here you have, so here you actually have a class called, because you probably want to keep the reviews along with the restaurant. Yeah, you'd think that. So here we're creating a class called restaurant. Restaurant's going to have a name, and it's also going to have this array list of reviews. And so you can add review, you can read in a bunch of reviews for that particular restaurant and print out, select comments by rating and so on. So this shows you an example of that. All right, so go through that. Let's do some challenges here, a couple of them. Okay. Enter the output of classes and array lists. Okay, so we have this program here. Okay, so we have a product, and the product's got a price and a name. You can get the price, you can get the name, and you can create a new instance of it. Anyway, so then you have the program here where we read in a bunch of products with whatever this number is. Set price and name. Okay, I guess that's the price and that's the name. And each time you read in the current this where do we get the here it is, scan int. Okay, the first thing you read is the price. And then while it's not -1, while it's greater than 0, greater than or equal to 0, you then read in the name, and then you create an instance of it using the product class, and then you add it to the product list, which you define up here, and then you read in the next one. Anyway, so that's what this does. Here we get the first one. And if the first one, what are we printing out here? We want to loop through and find the product with got the biggest price. We're looping through. We're going to find the most expensive product. That's what this does. See, so when you read these in, it's going to output this 12. All right, let's see if that's. I'm going to start this bugger. And so is that what it does? It reads them all in, and then while the price, okay, the result product here, it looks like I'm looking for the smallest one. Yes, result. We start with result 0, and as we go through it, if we find a smaller one, then that's the one we set. Okay, so if we find the smallest one, so then we print out a $sign. I'm down here. The price of the smallest one, which would be 7 space shirt. And it's a print line. Let's see if this is correct. All right. Okay, so why don't you do the rest of them? Why don't you do the rest of them? Okay, this is a little bit more difficult. Classes and array lists. The program first reads an integer certificate count from input, representing the number of pairs of inputs to be read. Each pair has a string and an integer representing the certificate's holder and level, respectively. One certificate object is created for each pair and added to the array list called certificate list. If a certificate's object level is between 10 and 13, both inclusive, in other words, 10, 11, 12, and 13, call the certificate objects print method. Okay, so that means that if it's 10, 11, 12, or 13, it's going to print it out. So for this one, it's going to print it out. For this one, it's going to print it out. For this one, it's not going to print it out. And there's 3 of them because this is the 3 here. All right, so what am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to write some code. All right, let's start. Say first it reads it, then it loops, and scoops them all up. Next, I'm gonna write some code here to print it out. For I equals 0, I is less than, I could just do certificate count, although it's probably better if I were to do the size of the array, but I'll just do it this way because it's easy. While, what am I gonna do? I'm going to print out those that, okay, are between those. So for those, system, no, I gotta have an if certificate list dot get level, what's it called? Cur level? No. Yeah, cur level. Just plain old level. Wait a minute. I'm not doing this right now. Get I dot cur level. I better not. Which one is this? Yeah, I better make sure I don't lead you astray here. All right, so I got to get the current. Okay, I got to take advantage of these things here. Okay, so I got to use the get level, the get level method. Okay, don't try to do anything fancier than that. And let's cut the fanciness here and say, I'm going to say, is there this one, current certificate, copy. I guess I can use current certificate. Current certificate equals certificate list get that array list element and make certificate current certificate point to it, and then do a if current certificate dot get level. There's my get level. Get level. Is greater than or equal to 10 and It's less than, I get it, puts out spaces. And it's less than or equal to, it's less than or equal to 13. It's got to be both those things. If that's true, then do this one. Then cur certificate dot print. Oh, and then I have to close the for. Is that right? All right, what's next? Use the scanner to read an integer row number from input until the next row number is read, until the next row number read is equal to minus 99. If it's not equal to minus 99, then do these things. Okay, so I got to read stuff in here. So first of all, I'm going to read row number. Yeah, read row number. So a row number equals scanner dot next int. And while row number is greater, yeah, well, it's not equal to 99. It says not equal to 99. Do this. Assign current purchase equal to the new purchase object. To a new purchase object. So let's see. So I gotta say okay, while row number is oh, okay, while it's not equal, then I want to get a new wait, do I gotta read in stuff? Let's see. Current purchase is equal to new purchase. And then I'm going to set current purchase dot oh, this reads the letter. Oh, I gotta read that in there. Read option included. This reads both of them. So this should be this. And it's SCNR, I guess, at Tennessee. Okay, so this reads the thing. And reads it and stores it right into where it's supposed to store it. Okay, great. And then, so that's the end of this. Oh, I got a row number. I got to read the next row number, don't I? I don't save the, it's okay. Purchase. What am I? Oh, I'm using. I'm looking at the wrong thing. Oh no, this is purchase. Oh, I have to add. I better add it to. I gotta add purchase list dot add. I think purchase. Must be what I need to do. All right, let's see what this tells me. Oh, I forgot to print something out, didn't I? Oh, that's what that does. Wait, what did I not do? Huh. Okay, so I am not, must not be adding it in properly. I'm gonna try removing this. All right, the error is this, so this should be minus 99. All right, what's next? Okay, the program first reads integer, this, right there, from the input representing the number of pairs. And so these are the pairs that are gonna be read in. Each pair has a string and an integer. One license object is created for each pair and added to the array list. We're supposed to write the print licenses range method in the database class using print to output all license objects with a feed between these two numbers. Okay, so we're going to be doing, let's see. So print. We're gonna write this program here. Okay, so I'm gonna say public void this, and I'm gonna say let's look at something else. Let's look at something like, see, do I need any sort of, okay, I'm just gonna say for, let's see, I gotta declare an integer, int I, for int I equals 0, I less than license list size plus for that if um, license list dot get I, no, it's not get, license list. A license is a list of licenses. There's a get fee by, if the fee is between 115 and 215 inclusive, is greater than or equal to 115 and this is less than or equal to 215. This is true. This is true. Then license list print I think I do, that's all I do. I think that's all I gotta do. Yeah. And the printing looks like license fee. Okay. This isn't any, okay, so let's see if this is correct. Close the if, close the for, what was my method? Wow, I don't know if this is gonna be right. License list print something. Wait a minute, I don't need to declare it. Oh, I forgot this. Got it? No, I did forgot. License list. Get fee. Naming something. Let's see, going to. Okay, I think I need to declare one of these. Need to declare another one of these. Copy. That's inside here. So I declare a object that I'm going to be using. And I think here, I think what I need to do is something like current license equals license list get for, and then I can say current license equals that, and then I can just if current license get fee is this, and then we can print current license. Okay, got to make sure I get my array lists and objects straight. Let's see what this does. License. Okay. All right. Yes, of course. I am using this method, which does not have an argument. Okay, let's do the last one. These are kind of hard. All right. Write a input certificates method in the records manager class. Would then use scanner to read pairs of inputs. Integer current level and string current holder until 90 minus 99 is read. Create each certificate object with these as arguments and then append it on the other. Okay, and this is input certificates. Okay, so right here, I got to go find input certificates. Let's see, I'm going to have the scanner coming in as an input. Okay, let's see if this works. STN. And in here, I'm going to say I'm going to make a new might as well call it a certificate called the current certificate. And I am reading in, okay, this is inputting. So first I'm going to read in the current certificate, I guess. Here we okay, yeah, this is just the records manager. So here is where we this, and then we're gonna let's create one. Equals new certificate. And then so I guess I'm just going to read it in. What is the result? If there is a result, okay, so I'm going to read result equals current certificate dot okay, this is the main program here, and we come in and this is the main. I didn't notice this earlier. Find a scanner, a records manager. This is going to create a new instance of this method of this whole class right here. And this is the method we're going to write, and this prints it out. So this is what we're writing in records manager. So here we need to we're going to use scanner to read pairs of inputs, this one and this one. I'm just going to copy this. Doesn't matter that much. Let me just paste this here. And I'm going to do a semicolon string. I guess that's okay. This can be int. And then I better read. I'm going to read. I don't think, I'm not sure I need this yet. I was looking at the different solution here. Let me just, okay, I'm going to, current level equals SCNR next int. Now, if current level, while current level is not equal to minus 99, let's not make the same mistake I made last time. While that's true, then we want to read, we want to say current folder equals next, just next. And that's going to get the current folder. Then I'm going to this here can be down here. I don't think I'm going to need this. This is the current certificate. That's that. It's a new one. Create a new one. Now what I set this one. I use this one. Set level and holder. Okay, this current certificate dot set, and the first one is the level, which is current level. The next one is the folder, current folder. Do that. Then we got to get the next one here. Copy. Paste. Okay, and then we can close out the while. Close out my method also. Okay, so that reads them up until that happens, and then what? We just print them out. Jeez, I don't know if this is going to be right. Let's see what happens. Okay, current holder. Oh, semicolon is expected. What is that? Here we go. Semicolon. I guess I need to do maybe this. I'm going to do this. First, I'm going to see if this works. Let's see. I need to see that. Still not used to this. Oh, I didn't print. Oh, do I need to? Oh, I don't store the. Oh, once I set this, I got to store it into the or this thing. Okay, so I need to it's called certificate list. And let's see if this works. Well, all right. Let's see. So what is the end? We've got 8.16 and then 8 abstract data type. These are all of the abstract array list abstract data type. As this Java collection defines. Collection is this. List is list interface is one of the most commonly used. And these are ADTs implemented using the list interface, and these are array list methods, basic array list methods. And let's see what this looks like. This is just okay. So let's see. Enter the output for the array list abstract data type functions. Let's see. So here we are scanner, current value, defining a list of integers. Print size is this. And then we read in a bunch of integers while the current value is greater than 0. Once it's not, then we print an int list. We print the size, and then we clear the list, and then we print the list again. This prints the list. Print size takes in a list and prints just the size of the list. Okay, so let's start this up. And we start out and we see this there. And so we come in here, same thing, we print the size of the list. We've just initialized the list, so the size of the list is 0. We're going to print the size of the list, which is 0 space items. Then we're going to read in while the list is greater than 0. So it's going to read in 1, 2, 3. Adding it to the list. And then after that, it's going to print the size of the list. So let's print 3 items. And then it's going to clear the list, and then it's going to print the size again. So I'll print 0 items. Okay, is this correct? Wow. Okay, let's do one more. This time, we declare a list. We add a 1 to it, add a 6 to it, add a 7 to it. Then we're going to set the first one, which was the 6. And we're going to set it to 0 minus 2, which is 1 minus 7, which is going to be minus 6. So 1 is now equal to minus 6. This is now equal to minus 6. And then the next time, then it's going to set this one into something. And what is it going to set it to? It's going to be set it to minus 6 plus 7. Minus 6 plus 7 is 1. So it's going to set the 2 equal to 1. And then it's going to print the 2 space, and then it's going to print the minus 6, I guess. I think. Let's see if this is right. Nope. Oh, it should have been 1. This is the second one. Oh, that's should have been 1 instead of 2. Let's see what next. Okay, so this time it's going to be 2 is 2 minus 1. I'm gonna okay, so we've got kind of dumb doing this, but so we have a list, and there is a int list, and we start out where it is 1 4, 9. There it comes. And then we set into 2, which is the and this is index 0, and this is index 1, and this is index 2. So the first thing we do is we set into 2, which is this, and we're going to set 2 minus 1. So it's going to be 9 minus 1 is 8. So this changes to 8. And then we're going to set in 1, we're going to set 2, which is now 8, minus 0, which is 1. So it's going to be, wait a second, I got this wrong. 2 minus 1 is 9 minus 4. Jesus. This starts out being 9. 1, 4, 9. And then we set into 2, we set 2 minus 2, which is 9 minus 4, which is going to be 5. So this changes to 5. Then we're going to set into 1, which is this one. We're going to set 2, which is now 5, minus 0. 5 minus 1 is 4. So that stays 4. Doesn't it? And then we're going to print out 2, which is 5, space 1, which is 4. Enter. Is this right? Yeah, okay. Okay, you can do the last one. All right, what's this one? Modify the existing array's contents by erasing the second element and then inserting 100 and 102 in the shown locations. Use ArrayLists remove and add only. Sample output of the below program with input 101, 102, 103 is going to be 101, 102, 103, and 104. Oh, 101, 200, 103. And so that's what it starts out as. Going to start out as 101, 200, 103. And by just using adds and removes, it's going to turn into 100, 101, 102, 103. So we want to start out with that, and we want to end up with this. So first thing we do is we print out where do we write our code? Okay, right here, I guess. Oh, whatever. Okay, so we read in 101, 102, 103, and then we got to change it to 100, 101. Okay, so I'm going to say, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say nums list dot what does remove do? I only use remove and add. Does remove the first one? Oh, you have an index. Remove an index. Oh, first occurrence of an element which refers to the same. Okay. So if we oh, this is an index. one. Array list. Oh, array list is 20. This is such a terrible thing here. Okay, the array list is 23, 34, and 88. And what we're going to do is we're going to remove the first one. Okay, the array list is 23, 77, 34, and 88. And then we remove the first one, which removes the 77. And then we end up with 23, 34, and 88. Wow, that sure is confusing. Okay, so the argument is going to be the index of the element that we want to remove. Okay, so here we are. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is we want to, oh, and what about add? What does add do? Does add have an index also? Ooh, an index followed by an element. Okay. Oh, if there's no index, it adds it at the end of the list. If there is an index, that's where it adds it. Okay. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we are going to 101 on, okay, let's remove the 200. Okay, so I'm going to say remove 0, 1. I'm going to remove number 1. Okay, and then I'm going to, in place of, okay, so now it's 101, 103. And so for the first element, I want to insert a 102. Okay, so after I do this, it ends up being, the list is 100 space 103. Okay, so then I want to add nums list. I want to add into the first slot, I want to add a 102. Okay, now the list is 101, 100. Is this right? No, this is not right. This should be 101. Now the list is 101, 102, and 103. Okay, then I want to nums list add into the 0th position. I want to add 100. How's that? And then that's going to be, it should be now 100, 101, 102, 103. I think. Let's see if this is right. All right. Okay, well, I think I have taken you through the rest of the way of, oh, I didn't do static fields or methods. Okay, let's quickly do static fields and methods. All right, so static fields and static methods are, okay, so you define a class, and normally when you define a class, there's fields in there and there's methods in there. And so normally when you define a class, it doesn't take up any memory except for the fields. But then when you create a new instance of the class, then it creates an instance of these fields and an instance of these methods that are built into the object. Well, static ones are ones that are not built into the object, but they stand alone statically. In other words, they are there no matter what. Static fields are nice if you want to just have, like, keep track of some sort of index, or like the primary key of a database or something. You don't want, when you create a new instance of an object, you do not want to create a new instance of that field. You'd like that field to be universal. Okay, so then you can define that field as a static field. Same with a method. Another advantage is if there's static fields, then you actually don't even need to define an object to be able to use the method. Okay, you can just say class name dot method, as long as it's static method. All right, so go through this and make sure you understand what there's class variables and instance variables. This is static and dynamic. Make sure you go through and understand that. Let's see what we got here. Okay. Okay, what's the first one here? I'll put the static members. Okay, so in this one, we're gonna create a stake and and I'm gonna print them out. What does this say? The IDs are gonna go up by 4. So we have a public static next ID, static. So this field, no matter what, no matter how many objects there are, we're going to be referring to one particular memory location here. And if we're going to do something like this, then it's going to affect this in all the objects, in all the instances of the class. All right, so that means that all right, so I'm going to start this dude. And so I'm going to print 3 things. I'm going to print soup. Well, let's see what the printing thing looks like. It does the type followed by the ID. ID increments. ID starts at 0 and increments by 5. So it's going to be soup space 0, I think. Salad space 5. And then lobster space 10. That's what I think. Let me just, is it a print line? Oh, I don't know if it's got to be a print line. It is a print line. Oh, there's a colon. A colon. Colons. Okay, and then there's a thinger because it's a print line by 5. ID is 0. Says food type. It's what the current ID is, and then it increments it. And oh, that's what this is set to. New food type of soup. Okay, yeah, right. So we make a new one. It says okay, very good. Let's see if this is right. All right. You do the next one. All right, what's this one? Okay, so we have create a public static Boolean field named debug mode and initialize debug mode to true. All right, so I'm gonna do that. I'm just gonna, and it's whatever. Okay, so I'm gonna start it up here, and I'm gonna initialize, create a static public. Is it public static Boolean? Maybe debug mode equals true. Yeah, how's that? And then is there any other code I'm gonna write? What happens if I write it? Run it. Well, that didn't seem very difficult. What's the next one? Create a public static method. Oh, method. Okay, ooh, code goes here. Okay. Public static method named returns returns the value of the private static integer field, so it must return an int. It's called get last visitor ID. Get last visitor ID. Oh, get the last one, so that we must be a private static integer. Private static int last visitor ID. Okay, I guess, is that it? Oh, wait a minute. It's already static. All I just need to say is return. How about return utter? Is that all I do? Oh my gosh, this is too easy. All right, well, I've taken you through chapter 8, or the new sections that I have not covered previously in previous videos on chapter 8, which is objects and classes. So hope this helps. Thanks for watching.